You ever see a company you love, a real titan of industry, just lose its magic? They go from being game changers to just kind of playing the game. Well, it's a super common story, but it doesn't have to be that way. See, the struggle to innovate isn't about a lack of smart people or good ideas. It's usually about a broken process. So today, we're going to unlock the Innovator's method, a system designed to break that cycle and help navigate the traps that cause even the best companies to stumble. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by really digging into the core problem, what's famously called the innovator's dilemma. From there, we'll build the solution step by step, finding those surprising customer insights, defining the right problem to solve, prototyping solutions that people actually love, and finally, mastering that crucial art of the pivot on the road to growth.
So let's dive right into the central challenge, what the method calls the crisis of execution. Now, this isn't about companies being bad at doing things. It's the opposite. They get so good at doing the same thing over and over again that they completely forget how to do anything new.
I mean, think about Intuit, the folks behind TurboTax and QuickBooks. By 2008, they were a monster of a company, but their growth had just hit a wall. They were masters at running their existing business, but they had totally lost the knack for creating new customers. And they are not alone. This happens all the time. But really, why?
Well, get this. Intuit's own founder, Scott Cook, said something pretty shocking. He basically argued that traditional business school training, which is all about optimizing, perfecting, and making existing systems more efficient, is actually the enemy of innovation. It trains people to be amazing managers of the present, but terrible discoverers of the future.
And this chart really gets to the heart of it. The execution mindset is all about squeezing out risk in a system you already know inside and out. But the innovator's mindset, you have to embrace uncertainty to discover a system that doesn't even exist yet. You can't be efficient at exploring the unknown. You have to learn your way forward. So, how do you even start that learning process?
Well, that process kicks off with the very first step of the method, uncovering powerful insights. And the absolute key to finding insight is mastering what they call the art of surprise. Let's take a look at Hindustan Unilever in India. For a whole decade, from 2000 to 2010, this massive company was just stuck, treading water. They were experts at selling what they had, but they'd lost touch with what their customers' lives were actually like. So they did something pretty radical. They made their employees get out of the building. They learned to savor surprises. And this is so important. Real innovation doesn't come from a spreadsheet that confirms everything you already thought. It comes from those moments that make you go, huh, that's weird. Why are they doing that? Those surprises are like little breadcrumbs leading you to the real opportunities.
They called it Project Bushfire. And honestly, the steps were deceptively simple. First, they just encouraged people to listen. Then, they made it mandatory for managers to actually go visit customers in their homes and at their jobs. And finally, they built a system to actually capture all these surprising insights they were gathering. Suddenly, they were hearing about real problems they never knew existed.
And the result? It was incredible. After building this new culture around customer-centric innovation, Huel's stock price shot up by 34%. It's just proof that sometimes the most valuable data isn't in a report. It's waiting for you in a customer's living room. But just finding those surprises is only the beginning. The next crucial step is to figure out what they mean, to define the real problem that's actually worth solving. This is how you separate a minor annoyance from a massive business opportunity.
The key idea here is called the job-to-be-done framework, and it's simple but powerful. Customers don't really buy products. They hire them to do a specific job, and that job has layers. Sure, there's the functional job, clean my floors, but there are also social and emotional jobs like impress my friends or feel like my life is in order. Real innovation solves the whole job.
This classic quote just says it all, doesn't it? The customer doesn't care about your drill, they care about the hole. They're hiring that drill to create a quarter-inch hole for them. When you focus on the job, not the product, it changes your entire perspective. And you have to be picky about which jobs you solve. The method uses this great analogy. Are you solving a mosquito bite or a shark bite? A mosquito bite is, an annoyance. People complain about it, but they're not really going to pay to fix it. A shark bite? Oh yeah, that's a problem that keeps people up at night. That's a problem people will throw money at you to make go away. Your job is to hunt for the shark bites. So you found a shark bite, a real painful problem. Now it's time to build the solution. But the goal here isn't just to build something that's viable, it's to prototype something that's genuinely awesome. Look, we've all heard of the minimum viable product.
the MVP. It's the bare minimum you can build to get feedback. But the Innovator's method argues for something better, the minimum awesome product, or MAP. The goal isn't just to check a box and be viable. The goal is to be awesome on the one dimension that really matters, to deliver an incredible experience on that one key feature that solves the customer's shark bite.
And you get there through a clear journey. It starts with a simple theoretical prototype. Could be just a sketch on a napkin to explain an idea. Then maybe it becomes a virtual prototype, like a quick mock-up on a screen to see if people are interested. Then you build toward a minimum viable prototype to test the basic functions. But the final destination is that minimum awesome product, where you refine and focus until a customer just goes, wow. Every single step is just a cheap, fast way to learn.
But see, the whole point of all this cheap, fast learning is to find the truth, even if that truth is that your big idea is wrong. And that leads to the final, critical skill in the Innovator's Toolkit, knowing when to pivot and how to find the right path to actually scale.
A pivot is not an admission of failure. Let's just get that straight. It's a sign of intelligence. It's a smart, structured course correction based on what you just learned. You keep all the valuable insights from your experiments, but you change a core part of your strategy, maybe who your customer is or the problem you're solving.
I mean, PayPal is the absolute poster child for the pivot. They did not start with their billion-dollar idea. They started with security software for handhelds. That failed. So they pivoted to transferring money between Palm Pilots. That also didn't get much traction. It was only on their third major idea, money transfers through email, that they struck gold. Each pivot was guided by the hard lessons they learned from the last attempt.
But after you pivot your way to that winning idea, the whole game changes again. As Ryan Smith, the CEO of Qualtrics, warns, the second you start to scale, everything is different. That scrappy innovator's mindset that got you there now has to merge with that disciplined execution mindset you need to actually win the race.
And that really brings us to the single most important idea in the Innovator's method. It's all built on one core belief. Your first idea is almost certainly wrong. And that's okay. That's not a problem. It's the starting line. The goal isn't to be right from day one. The goal is to get less wrong as quickly and cheaply as possible. So the only question that really matters is the one right here. What's the first experiment you're going to run?